Hey, what's up, everybody? And welcome to episode number 151 of the Unknown Games podcast. I'm your host, Adrian, and joined with me, as always, is Alex with the fresh new cut.
Hi, I'm Alex with the fresh new cut.
With the fresh new cut in the cold weather. How was your day, man? It's been cold today. I think we finally hit winter season in Japan. All of November was, for the most part, relatively warm.
Yeah.
And now I wouldn't say we're freezing. I mean, you're from Canada. You have the experience. My hometown in Alabama is around this same temperature. So like 40 degrees Celsius, 40 not Celsius, Fahrenheit. There we go. Wow. Fahrenheit. So it's not too bad for me, but at the same time, it's been warm, so yucky.
Yeah, no. Today is fine. I basically just got my haircut today, honestly. That's all I really did. Literally that was pretty much it. I like slept in pretty late and then I just got my haircut. I didn't play any games or anything like that, but
it makes the best
it's
weather.
cold as fuck. It's cold as fuck today though, so it's like I didn't even think that it was gonna rain for some reason. Like I didn't even think about checking the forecast for whatever reason. Yeah, I was like, oh, today not rain. I'm gonna go outside. Fine. So I got my haircut, right?
Right.
Then when I left the place, the guy was just like, "Do you have an umbrella?" And I was like, "No."
Oh wait, like, was that bad? You didn't even have an umbrella? Like
no, I didn't even bring an umbrella.
Oh,
I just didn't even check the forecast at all. Like leaving the place, and the guy's like, it's raining. Did you bring an umbrella?" And I was like, "No." And he's like, "Oh, it's raining." And I was like, "Oh my god, it's raining." So nice of them, by the way. So the salon that I went to,
they actually gave you one?
They lent me
or
one.
Lent you one.
So they're like, yeah, you can use this umbrella and then just bring it back whenever you want. And I was like, well, okay, I really appreciate it because it is raining quite a bit. But I'm like, now I gotta go and like find a time to like bring them their umbrella back.
I mean, that's something that I don't know if it happens in like the West or anything, but I guess in Japan, like it's not too far out of the question. But like that's why I was like, they gave you an umbrella because like let's be honest, most people get their hair cut maybe once a month. Some people do a little bit more, but they're expecting you to like remember maybe next month or whenever when it's not a rainy day, if you happen to go, to like bring that umbrella back.
Well, I'm not gonna go when I'm like I get my haircut like 4 times a year actually.
Oh, whoa, like once a quarter, just
yeah, I like let it grow out. Like I don't know if you want to like you're not gonna do this, but if you had like a picture of me like from last week or whatever on screen or whatever, like I let my hair grow out quite a bit. Yeah. So I'm not gonna wait until like April or
4 months later to be like, yo, here's an umbrella back.
Here's your umbrella back. So I'm probably just gonna swing by like the next time I leave my apartment. Like if I'm gonna hop on the train, I'll just bring it and I'll be like, here's the umbrella. Like thanks for lending it to me. So
okay,
yeah,
that's awesome, man.
I just gotta remember though. I gotta remember because I don't want to like I don't know if you do this or this happens to you. Maybe if you guys live in Japan or whatever, you might do this, but it rains a lot, like just throughout the year.
Oh, yeah.
It's rainy season, and it'll just surprise days where it rains or whatever. So if you're out, like I was, and you don't bring an umbrella, you might get like caught out, and you're like, oh, I'm gonna just buy like a 500 yen umbrella from the
and you just have it with you for.
Yeah, so you just buy an umbrella. You buy a cheap ass umbrella, not anything nice or fancy or whatever. It's like a plastic umbrella,
just a plastic see-through umbrella. Yep.
Yeah, so you come to your apartment, and you are slowly amassing a collection of shitty umbrellas. At least, I am. So, over time, like at the end of the year, something like that, you're like, well, I'm gonna throw these. I'm like, why do I have 7 umbrellas? You know what I mean? Like, I'm gonna throw these away.
None of them are like, and the thing is because I don't typically lose or like I don't get caught out in the rain typically, but the few times I have, that's happened to me, and I'll end up keeping the umbrellas for like a whole quarter before I end up losing them, or they tend to go bad.
Like they rot.
No,
they just break easily or whatever. Yeah. So like at one point, for me, I had a stupid amount of umbrellas. I had like 8 or something, and I was like, I gotta throw these out. I gotta throw these away. So and then I did that. Well, I think we have 4 umbrellas actually. And none of them are like the 500 yen ones. They're the
you got the
1,500 yen
you got
ones?
the big size, like the actual like 2 people can stand underneath them then.
No, just the ones that are foldable, like the oritatami umbrellas, like the black ones that collapse into like a portable size.
Yeah.
So they also sell those at the convenience store. So you go to the convenience store, they sell like the cheap big ass plastic ones for $5. and then they sell ones that are like, oh, you can put in your bag or whatever, 1,500. So I'm
That's
like,
what I used to
well,
do. It's a
yeah, I'm
lifesaver,
like,
honestly.
yeah. Well, when I used to go to the office a lot, I just have an umbrella, especially during rainy season. Just leave that in, just leave it in your bag because you're gonna use it eventually. Just leave it in your bag. But yeah, so in front of in our doorway here, we have like 4 of those black ones because we just like we're out and we're like, oh, we'll use it eventually. We'll use it for a while, so we'll get a good one. So we keep buying those. But yeah, I didn't bring an umbrella today.
Oh man. Well, I mean, adventures are happening abound. I went to Costco for the first time.
Oh
I finally
yeah,
made it out there. I rode my bike and I found out that it was
you need a
literally
membership.
well, I went with somebody, so I
Oh,
had the membership
okay.
with well,
Yeah,
they
okay.
had it, so that was good. But
Right.
I've never been to a Costco in the US either. Like this was like
So that was your first
my
impression?
first impression, and it was the weirdest thing of like kind of culture shock.
Because it's
I
like
don't
America.
reverse.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, it
it's
was like
weird.
America. I saw
Yeah, yep.
Levi's, Calvin Klein, and like some brands that honestly we would find like in shopping malls back home, but
Mm.
they're here in like a Costco, like Duracell batteries, which for whatever reason that like got me because it's just one of those things where for 10 years I've never seen a Duracell battery here. I've never looked for one. I'm
Yeah,
pretty sure they might sell them outside. I don't know,
I
but
know I
usually
haven't seen that. Yeah.
yeah, it's a Japanese brand. So to see like these other American brands or like Western brands that are just there in like bulk supply, it was tripping me out. But it was only 20 minutes away from my house, 25 minutes around that. And then I
That's
was
sick,
like,
dude. Dude, that's
yeah.
dangerous, dude. Because, like, I
Oh, the
mean,
pizza. I had the pizza, bro. I had the pizza and the
it's
hot
good.
dog.
It's good, right? It's
It
good.
was good. It was good. It
Yeah,
was
it's good.
good.
It's good.
It was
That's
legit
so
good.
that's so dangerous. Because, like, okay, the thing about Costco, I mean, people, I mean, if you've been to Costco, it and you're like, what's Costco like in Japan? It's just Costco. It's like the
It's just
exact
Costco.
same.
Yep. Yep.
It's like the exact same. Like it's the size too. Like maybe they're like a little bit smaller, but like it's still the same size cart. It's still the same like sections. It's still the same like
Kirkland
bulk
brand.
size. Yeah.
I got my
The thing about
bacon.
that gets me
So
when I go
good.
to Costco, okay, we live in like Japan, and the majority of Japanese people like don't have ovens that can feasibly cook like a
Oh,
butterball
the
turkey,
actual,
right?
yeah, that pizza. Yeah.
Well, the pizza for one, but also like a butterball turkey, like a giant ass turkey for
Oh,
Thanksgiving, right?
yeah. Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
that size of turkey. They sell those in Costco, right back
hmm
home. But it makes sense because a lot of families have an oven that can just pop that bad boy in there, right?
Right. Right.
They still sell that turkey here in
Here.
Japan,
It's still
despite the
here.
fact that there's no way
You
you put a
can.
turkey.
You
Yeah.
can. I mean, it,
How?
it it barely fits. We did it for Thanksgiving. We did it twice. There's 2 times.
Well, what oven was
One.
that? Because there's no way my oven will fucking fit
So
that,
so
man.
one we had to. So this one year it was special. One year we had to get we rented a community center. So that was an actual
Oh my god,
oven.
you rented
Like we
space.
rented we rented space. That was
Yeah.
an actual oven. The other year I went to a friend's place and they just happened to have one of those microwave ovens kind of things, the convection ovens. That was it fits. I'm not gonna say it's got room, but it fits.
That seems
It's
like dangerous.
stuffed.
How do
It's
you get
stuffed.
proper like air circulation? Because like
You
you're
have to
like,
take it out. Like we even did it my first year here in Japan, like when I was studying abroad. Like a French person was like, I want to experience American Thanksgiving
in Japan.
in
The
Japan.
irony, it's so
And
funny.
and we got it, but that one was the most dangerous because we cooked the way we cooked it, it barely fit in there. But every
You probably
time
didn't like.
we had to rotate it. We had to take it out and like physically
Yeah,
rotate it to make sure
yeah,
it
I
got
bet.
done. And
Oh my god.
that was hell. That was actually hell. That was
It
crazy.
would have been way better to just grab like a blowtorch and like slowly move the flame over the turkey or something like
Honestly,
that.
just grab a rotisserie chicken. Those are always the best. I don't
Oh,
think
because
anyone can hate.
they also sell those at Costco. But yeah, if you're
Exactly.
wondering like what is it like at Costco in Japan, it's just Costco, dude. It's the
It's just
exact same
Costco.
thing. It's the exact same thing. They do also sell some like bulk Japanese product. You will see some Japanese
Oh
products
yeah,
sold in
yeah. I
bulk there.
bought some like spicy like nameko mushroom kind of thing to put on rice.
Yeah, okay.
It's really cool. I mean, it's nice that, like you said, though, there's definitely some like Japanese brands that are there, or just like specialty shop kind of things, but just sold in a bigger jar or bigger container.
Yeah, but
Um,
they still like a lot of the Costco stuff you would see back home is still there. So like if you want like bacon, and I mean like American bacon,
I
like
got
what
it.
you yeah, exactly. That's like the one place to like get it, man. So like
Bro, it was the funniest thing was when I got my piece of when I got my bacon, this like Caucasian dude came up behind me him and his wife or girlfriend, or whatever, and he's like, and we're getting bacon. And I could tell he had the exact same love of bacon as I did.
It's like the only place to get bacon in Japan. Yeah, I know. And you're only 20 minutes by bike.
By bike, it was.
Are you gonna get are you gonna get a membership? Like you have to.
The membership is so. So here's the thing: the person I went with, they're like, oh, you can just come back next time with me to get some stuff because it was.
Yeah.
I think a membership here is around $40, 45, whatever. It's like
for the year, yeah.
For the year, which is cheap, honestly, for a year, just $40.
Yeah.
And I was just thinking to myself, I could even just come up here and eat some pizza sometimes. Like,
exactly,
bro,
exactly,
like
exactly,
what
exactly.
the heck?
Dude,
it's right next to the theater. I just realized that the mall, one of the big malls.
It's
the theater,
right there.
it's
I know
right
what you're
there
thinking.
too. And I'm just like,
it's almost across the street, right?
I could be riding my bike to movies.
Exactly. So the
Holy
fact
crap.
that you're 20, I have no idea why. How long have you lived for a while, dude?
Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, 5 years. I'll say like 4 or 5 years. I lived in this specific location.
I don't know why it's taking you this long to get to go to Costco. No, you have to get a membership. Like I'm not even kidding, dude. You have to get a membership.
There's like places like I forgot this one like Hawaiian pancake. It's not pancakes, but like the Hawaiian kind of restaurant. They serve Hawaiian food.
Like the burger place?
Yeah, I think it's Kulaina?
Kulaina,
yeah. Dude, that's just right there too. That's like 15 minutes. I'm sitting here like, you serious? There's a park that's full of cherry blossoms.
I have no idea why it's taking you this long to even think about going to Costco, man.
I've been to that area. I've been around there, and it's like, but I've never biked there, right? I've always been in someone's car or something, and it's just been like, okay, but. That was a fun experience. I was trying to set up my my GoPro to do an actual stream there, but instead I just got some action. I got some footage on it just to see how that worked. Dude, it was it was so cool. Like that, it picks up so well. Everyone who's listening to this podcast is like, wait, what is this thing about exactly? Like we talk about video games, but
we got sidetracked. We got super sidetracked just now, but yeah.
We were talking about a little bit of everyday life, but yes. Anyways, we do talk about video games, and this week we've got. By the time you hear this, the Video Game Awards will have happened and/or
happening. Who would have thought? What amazing! The winner, huh? Who would have figured?
Who would have figured? Who would have figured? Stray won everything.
We should record all of our podcasts like in advance, but like just talk general enough for it to always work. Yeah.
But yeah, so we have a little bit of news about that. Fortnite, with the new chapter coming out, we'll talk about that with the addition of Doomslayer. Which, dude, Doomslayer looks pretty cool. Geralt in another game, crossing over all over the places, and Deku from My Hero Academia coming in as well.
Yeah, I just man. At this point, I don't even like. I mean, we talked about this already when we last talked about Fortnite, but like at this point, you could say anything, and I would probably believe you. I would believe you. Because I remember I was talking to one of my friends last night. We're talking about Fortnite, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he just like, he was kind of joking. He was like, when are we going to get real life people in Fortnite? And I'm like, we have that already. Ariana Grande is in the game as Ariana Grande. Yeah.
LeBron James, we already
John
have Cena,
that.
Like we got these people.
I'm like, we already have that. And he was just like, oh, fuck.
Unless he's talking about the VR version that may come out one day. Dude, that would be crazy if the VR avatar was actually that person. Oh, anyways. So we've got that and some Sonic. I finished up Sonic Frontiers, so we'll talk about that. And if you want to talk about some Pokemon or whatever else you've been playing, we'll do that too. So thanks everyone for watching. We'll see you next week. I'm just playing.
Yeah.
But yeah, so just moving on to what we've been playing. Like I said, I've been playing Sonic Frontiers, and I finally finished it up around the 20-hour mark. And that was I did 100% of everything. Minus talking to Tails and Amy once each.
Okay.
So I missed like a little bit. I didn't level everything up because the game, unfortunately, is not... There's some quality of life things that just aren't in there. So, for example, if you try to level up, it literally says like you can only do it once per stat, like each time. So you want to level up your speed? Yes. Okay. Do you want to level up your rings? Yes. Then you repeat that process over and over up until 99.
Oh, okay. So it's just
for
like
each, yeah,
for each stat, like
for each
stat you to confirm. It's like a tree though, right?
It's not even like a tree. I wish it were a tree. It's just straight
What is
up.
it? If it's not a tree, it's just like what is it? It's like a linear progression path, but it's so confirmed if you want to level skills up.
It's just, yeah. So the skills don't level up. The skills you just unlock as you go through. I wish I could actually pull that up really quickly. We're looking at, this is the second level that we're looking at, and towards the end, towards the boss fight. But yeah, so Sonic has around, I would say, like 10 different skills, and you get them as you progress through the game. Well, four of them you get as you progress through the game. The other ones you'll get as you collect skill points, which are scattered throughout the map, and those are just, they're on the map as little collectibles, and there's not much to do there.
Mm.
I mean, the game is a lot of fun. This is like my overall impression. I'm just gonna see if I can go through like just like some normal gameplay or something, because this is a mini game. The gameplay is fun. The boss battles are not fun.
They're not fun because they're not fun because they're not challenging, or not
They're
fun because
not.
they're poorly designed.
They're poorly designed and they are not challenging. And I think that's the main issue with this game, is that a lot of the boss fights or just normal enemies, they don't pose any particular type of threat. The way that you actually go through all of these fights is, and maybe it's this way in all the 3D Sonic games, is you're essentially, like in this case, you're running through on this kind of path till you catch up to the actual part that you can hit. But even though you're running max speed, it's going to take you at least sometimes a minute. And then it's kind of like a little bit of repeat process. And every boss is like this.
Sure. Yeah. Okay.
The music is blaring.
This is how modern Sonic boss fights are, by the way.
Okay. I was just wondering, because they gotta change that. I wish they would change it, because honestly, yeah.
Okay. Oh, I mean, the question is how though? Like, what kind of encounter would you prefer to see? So you never played Generations, or did you play Sonic Adventure 2 Battle or anything like that, or
I played a little bit of it. Okay, but so not enough to just be like, yeah.
There are boss fights in those games as well, but they're some of them are like arena fights, if that kind of makes sense. I don't know if that makes any sense.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. Makes sense.
So there's like a boss in Generations where you are on, if you can imagine, like you're running on the outside ring of a rotating arena, if that makes sense. So like as you move right, so you're moving right, but basically the camera is moving with you. So it looks like Sonic is always in the front. Right, that makes sense.
Right. Which kind of happened in not this fight here, but there is a fight that is an arena style that something like that happens.
Yeah, and in that fight, like you have to navigate upwards through platforms, like you're jumping on platform to platform, and then you have to get close. You have to navigate to the back of this gigantic boss where there's like a weak spot, and then you have to like hit the back of the boss's head or something like that. So you have to navigate this rotating platform. There's that kind of fight, and then there's the fight what you described, which they have that in all the 3D ones, I think, where you're just running essentially straight. Basically, you're running straight. You're dodging obstacles. You're dodging enough obstacles until you get to the target, and then you hit it, and you repeat that forever.
Okay. I mean, they made kind of a big deal out of the whole climbing mechanic in the game, and there's some of the mini bosses that you actually will climb up on. So I was thinking that, some things that they could do to diversify the game would just be kind of expound on some of those mechanics, or maybe if you're running to something, maybe you don't have to just, maybe it's just a course. I don't know, but it just, it just felt like it was taking a little bit too much time, but more so than others. Like this part, there's a lot of stuff on the screen right now, and there's actually missiles that are coming towards me at this point.
Yeah, this also looks like a boss. This looks like the final boss of Sonic Adventure 2, actually. So
it could be. It could, honestly, the way the story works out. I mean, there is a story.
There is a
story.
Like a quote from the back of the box. Yeah, there's a features has a story. But
features has a story. But I mean, what I will say about this game is the music through all these fights. I made sure to do these on stream, because some of them, like, even if they're not awesome, they all are bangers. The first one specifically is like
stupid
good.
Yeah.
So like I can tell chat we all left out of this game like yeah, we got to put this rock music on. Let's go. And a lot of people can kind of complain about the um how the music for the overworld just it's very toned down and solemn. It's it's just it's a piano track. It almost feels like sometimes you're in Hollow Bastion from Kingdom Hearts. Seriously, the first world sounds like Hollow Bastion almost. And then the next one, this desert place actually sounds like the Near Automata desert a little bit. And I went
But
back
I
to
mean,
listen, and I
that's
was
kind of a
like,
good song though.
it's a good song. But then I realized I was like, nah, Near was much better.
Well, I
But
think
it's that
because Nier
style
is
of
top
music.
notch. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
but it
think. Well, I mean, they might do that on purpose to like to purposely have a bit of a divide between the the calm parts of the game and then just like these encounters. You know what I mean?
right. So we have these encounters, and this is the kind of breaking it down. Is you have like just the open world stuff with like mini bosses, and then you'll have the last part with the rock music for the big bosses, and then in between there are the kind of generations levels, which are a lot of fun. Honestly, I had like a blast doing these because it was just they're all less than 5 minutes. And you have different challenges throughout them, whether it be a time attack or whether it be a getting all the rings, coins, just that sort of thing. And they just always, these were the challenges for me, and I just really enjoyed them. Sometimes you can finish them on the first go, and sometimes it takes a little bit longer. But they were all reminiscent of older Sonic stages, and there is a
Yeah.
reason in the story for
Yeah, I mean,
that as
I
well.
can see this. This kind of looks like a chemical plant, something like that.
Yeah, there's an actual just straight up, it's chemical plant. They just
Oh,
put it
oh,
in there.
really? Oh,
So
okay. Well, that's good because that's like a fan favorite.
it's a fan favorite. And there's some mini games in here that I did not expect. That are not that just have to deal with the story, that are actually done pretty well. So I mean, overall, my impressions of this game is I had a lot of fun. It's very simple, but it was a blast,
I
and
mean, that's good. Yeah, as long as you
that's
like.
positive, you know.
Well, yeah. So if you actually look at the Steam reviews right now, I think it's overwhelmingly positive, which is insane. You know what I mean?
There are no, I will, another thing I want to give credit to this to Sonic Team for is there are no, outside of maybe when you do some weird stuff, like
Okay.
weird, just, I don't know, animation type things, like dodging consecutively, like there's no cooldown on the dodge. So he just like is sidestepping forever. Or, some of the actual cutscenes are a little bit like, they look like they're PS3 level. Like there's some weird stuff. There's like, okay, they save money, but this game technically runs wonderfully.
Yeah. Okay.
It's buttery.
Like.
Like whenever Sonic is moving, I never felt like I could not control his movement when he's moving the fastest. I didn't feel like he like it was just it was great, right? Like
So
I
you
always
did,
felt like
but
I was in
like,
control.
well, how was performance though? I mean, I heard initially at launch there was some issues with pop-in assets that are just kind of appearing in the overworld, which is not bad per se, but that was a
It
distracting. Like,
it
did you
it
encounter that or
yes, I did encounter that. I have the skill tree up here right now, but we'll keep going. I did encounter that, and it actually scared me sometimes.
pop-in?
Like
So it has bad draw distance basically. Then yeah.
essentially, let's see, because this last day I just did nothing but like the levels, like nothing but those special levels. So the pop in and stuff isn't bad.
That's
What is
open world
bad is
only. That's only world.
it's
Only the open
open up.
world.
Yeah, it's
Okay. Yeah.
only
Yeah. Yeah.
bad when it comes to enemies because
Okay.
those mugs. So like those big bosses, they zoom in on them, the mini bosses or whatever, and they'll just be like, "This is a boss." Music blares. It has a name. Usually it's something generic like Ninja,
Sure.
Uber Ninja, whatever. But they aren't loaded in when you're going super fast. So they just pop up sometimes. It scared me because it was just like I'm running, boom. And it
Oh,
just
you just like ended up in a boss fight without
and
realizing it.
I didn't even know it was there. And so that's like, that's one thing. But for the most part, like it just runs pretty smooth. All the worlds are there's 5 worlds, 5 little, levels. And all of them, honestly, they take about an hour to do, if not more. If you really just want to do 100% of them, like it's gonna take you a while to just unlock all the map. And all it
Mhm.
is just finding like little things and doing little challenges, which are very simple. Like I said, very simple. Some of them are just like follow the pattern. That's it. One of them is a Tetris block thing. Drop some Tetris blocks on something. So it's, nothing's really difficult. But yeah, here's like the weird stuff, right? but he's not getting hooked on, he's not getting stuck on any of this.
Oh yeah, this does look kind of weird, but
it's weird, but he's not getting stuck. And like I said, it feels like they made a big playground, and it's a good proof of concept. And now I just want I want more meat and quality of life changes.
I wonder. I mean, they typically do tend to build off each other in a sense. Like a lot of them, the 3D Sonic games kind of keep one aspect of something from something.
Mm-hmm.
So I wonder the next Sonic game, which will be, at this pace, probably in like 3-4 years or something like that. I wonder if it'll be open world like this, if we only open world, or if they'll kind of keep the same pattern where like some of it is open world, and some of it is instant levels and that kind of stuff.
It's pretty interesting because it's like I said, it's a mashup of kind of that Generations feel plus this new open world stuff. And like I said, I want more. I enjoyed it. I would like a little more challenge. I played it on hard, and there wasn't anything hard about it. There's weird stuff like, okay, so you collect coins to then go, fast, like blue blur level fast, that type of thing. But once you've collected those coins, say it's only like 100 coins. Once you've collected them, there's nothing else to do. You're like, why are you collecting more coins? You know what I mean?
Oh, I mean, I do that too. I mean, like in Legend of Zelda, like even though you're at max rupees, I still break the pots. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, you still break them. They're still there, but yeah. I mean, I guess that's my thoughts on it. I love how in the open world, a lot of the rails they look like they're random, right? But
yeah,
they are not randomly placed.
There is a take you to there's like they were meant to take you somewhere.
They're meant to take you somewhere. Sometimes if you're quick thinking on your feet, you can actually ride multiple sets of rails that are completely distances apart. But like you just notice while you're flying through the air, like, oh, I can actually kind of get onto that one next.
I'm gonna drop onto that one. Yeah.
I'm gonna drop onto that one. So like there's a lot of that, and I think that not knowing where you're going and kind of just exploring and not knowing where those rails are going to take you, that was just another part of the fun. So everything about it was a lot of fun. I don't know, that's the best I can say is,
well, that's good. Like as long as you had fun with it. I mean, part of it maybe, I don't know if it was true for you, but maybe your expectations were just like kind of low to start with, so when they match when they match your expectations, you were like, oh, this is actually pretty good. So
I think it exceeded my expectations. But I knew like from the start, like, okay, this is what they're going for. When everyone was poo-pooing on the game, it's probably on the podcast somewhere. It's like, I can see what they're going for. And I think, and it should hopefully work. I believe it's going to work. But yeah. So
is this going to encourage you to check out some of the older Sonic games, or do you think you will be, you will like,
no, I'll play probably like Mania or like, or Generations, more likely Generations, but
you're not going to touch Forces, or you're not going to touch
like if it's a good one, like I might go back to play like Adventure or something. I think the other issue is like, these stories are just they are what they are. They're like some popcorn stories, and that's cool.
Not good. Oh, here's the thing. This might be a hot take, but like if you're gonna play an older 3D Sonic game, and everyone loves Adventure, man. Everyone loves Adventure, especially Adventure 2. Like a lot of people love Adventure 2.
Yeah, they added the shoes in here. I think I'm wearing the Adventure 2 shoes right now.
The soap shoes, yeah.
Yeah.
This might be like a hot take, but I actually think you would be better off playing Forces than you would Adventure 2. I personally don't think Adventure 2 aged like all that well. And a lot of people shit on Forces, and I'm not trying to say it was a good game, but if you're just trying to play like another Sonic game, I feel like you would have generally a better time with Forces than you would with Adventure, because you'd be like, because it's closer it's closer to release to Frontiers. Okay. So in terms of like how Sonic handles, at least on a what's the x-axis, on the x-axis, like side to side, it'll be way similar. Yeah, it'll be way similar.
Okay.
Like
that's something to keep in mind.
The physics in Adventure are just like weird, man. They're bizarro, like because it's a Dreamcast game. Like if you watch speedruns of Adventure 2, like those guys will like do crazy shit. If you hit a corner in a very particular way, you'll like transfer all of your energy into like some kind of y-axis momentum, and Sonic will just like catapult in the air. Like it's so weird.
Oh, yeah. It sounds like one of those like, I mean, there are like weird little instances of just like stuff happening in this game, but I felt like they were far and few between. So like, I mean, if as long as it holds up, whatever old game holds up well, I don't mind playing it.
Like if you do play Forces, just don't like pretend there is no story and you're just playing a bunch of levels and you'll
That
probably
I
be like,
mean,
yeah.
that's not half the logic off of if you pick up Frontiers. I will say for fans of the series, of if you've played other Sonic games, there are a lot of references to story events that have happened, and it's just like, oh, that's cool, I can tell. But for me, I didn't play a lot of them, and I'm just like, I know what you're talking about, kind of, sort of, but I don't know. Cool.
Hmm,
Let's keep going past it. They don't harp on any of that stuff, but it's just a nice nod to fans, like, hey, you
that's
know,
cool.
um,
Yeah, I
but
mean, it's crazy that there is a Sonic game, on Steam at least, that has overwhelmingly positive,
it
reviews.
runs smooth, man. Sonic, they did a great job, and I even saw on the Game Awards like there's a fan vote, and it looks like at the time, I want to say yesterday or so, Sonic was actually beating Elden Ring by like 2%.
That's pretty
For
funny.
I guess like fan game of the year or something like that. But it's something, and it's not even gonna. It's like it's not stopping here. Apparently, not only was this the best selling Sonic game in 20 years in Japan, sold around 40,000 copies on Switch and PlayStation. Previously, Forces only sold around 10,000 copies across the Switch and PlayStation. So it's already off to a good start. But apparently they like also changed the dialogue, like the whole script is changed for Japanese audiences.
Oh, really?
It's like they tried to market this game to Japan. Like that's why we have the 1OK Rock apparently. There's the Monster Hunter collaboration that was kind of fun.
There's a collab with the VTuber that's only on console right now, actually.
They're really going ham with some of these collabs. There's going to be DLC for the game.
Yep. Hmm.
There's like a whole course of DLC that they're going to be putting into the game. Yeah, for 2023, there's an actual content roadmap with jukebox mode, photo mode, new challenge modes, Sonic's birthday. Like, what is this? Open zone challenge, new Coco. We don't need to collect any more Coco. So, 3 updates in general with playable characters and even new stories. So, it's all of this they have confirmed is going to be free. Like it's a free
Right.
update as long as you have the game, which is really nice on them. But I think if you have kids and you have like they have gotten into Sonic through the movies, I feel like this is still a good game even for them to play or watch being played.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's also, I mean, if it's not Frontiers, like, what are you gonna make them play? Mania, I guess. But yeah.
Yeah, this is like what do you make them play if it's not that one? What do you make them play? So Sonic's in good places right now. He's doing good. It's good to see. It's like a recovering addict.
Yeah. I guess. Yeah.
Someone's like, "What are you talking about? What do you know
I
about
actually
recovering
I haven't
addict?"
picked up Frontiers yet. I will pick up Frontiers. I actually just tossed it to my wish list tonight. Actually.
Yeah, yeah. If you don't want to do like 100, honestly, 100%ing stuff is just like personal thing. But if you don't want to do it, you can probably finish it in maybe 15
Yeah. I
hours.
mean, I might be
It's pretty
worthy. Like maybe a
quick.
Steam sale kind of game. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, yeah, definitely, definitely.
And I can just pick it up and play it over the holidays or something like that.
Oh man. So yeah, that was that. And then of course, what else do we have? Did you want to mention anything about Pokemon? I know we said last week. I think they're the fastest selling Scarlet and Violet, fastest in the series. Did you have anything to add for your
Uh,
Pokemon experience?
I don't know. It's fine. It's Pokemon. Performance is pretty jank still. They got patched I think like a week ago or something like that, or maybe a few days ago. But like, um, I had this problem, and this I think a lot of people are having this problem where the longer you play the game,
The
the
longer you
worse it
play,
the worse it runs. So like there's like as if there's like a memory leak or something in the game. So like
what
the
the
more hours you
heck?
put into the game, like the performance gets worse and worse and worse. It gets
So
slower and
it's
that kind
it's
of thing.
compounding. Like you said, a
Yeah.
memory leak. Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah. What
so
the heck?
what I did is like I just like restarted. I just closed the game. I closed the game and booted up. And then when I went back into the game, it was like running much smoother. I was like, that's hilarious. That's so funny.
I mean,
Um,
it's it is kind of weird because like I've seen comments on like threads that some people are like this game is buggy as heck, and then other people like right below that will say like I haven't had any issues with the game. I don't know if some fans just don't know what the issues look like or they're just denying them, or because the game does run fine. I mean, there are weird things here and there. Like I was watching your stream and like the way these Pokemon were running was just I don't know
Oh,
if that was
are
by
you talking about
design.
the Sunflora challenge? Where I had
Yeah,
to like find them.
yeah, that was.
I
I don't know if
hated
that.
hated that.
I don't know what
That's
that
so
was.
dumb.
It hurt my eyes, but it was there.
Yeah, so there's a part in the game. It's like the second gym. Well, it's technically you can do any gym you want in any order, but there's a gym where you need to hide and seek with some flora. You have to find them, and then when you find them, they'll just follow you throughout the town.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I did this thing on stream. Well, I was like looking back at myself. So I was looking at my character run at a normal, smooth looking 30 frames per second. But the Sunflower running behind me were noticeably running at what appeared to be like a lower frame rate.
But they were running smoothly though.
Which is technically not true, I think, because the game is running at like, let's say 30 frames per second, but just their animation cycle was called, so they had less frames of their animation, so it would hold a certain frame for much longer. Do you know what I mean? If that makes sense. So their animation looked way choppier than my character's animation, which looked normal. And the game
I'm
does
trying
this.
to
So this
find it,
happens
but
all over Pokemon. Like it's prominent in the entire game where animations for objects that are still very plainly in view will look choppy. Just because they're removing a lot of the animation cycles, I guess, to save like on performance. So I went into a town last time I was streaming, which has a giant. Oh, this is the same town, I think, but that's the Sunflower thing. But there's a windmill, a big windmill in the town, right?
okay.
And windmills move predictably like windmills. So those windmill blades will just rotate normally, right?
Right.
When I like first went into the town, the windmill was animating like not smoothly, and I thought it was a giant clock. Because of like, yeah, because the way that like a second hand would tick, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how that windmill was moving, and I was like, oh, it's a clock. And I look and I'm like, wait, wow, there's like four hands on that clock. I'm like, oh, it's a windmill. Holy shit. Yeah. And then like this, the closer you get to the windmill, then the smoother it gets. And once you get like right under it, then it's actually moving like a proper windmill. But you can replicate this. Yeah, you can
Oh my
easily replicate this
goodness.
just like by looking at it and then pulling away and then being like, that's, you can just noticeably see animations just drop off. Like NPCs will just do it, so their walk cycle gets weird, so they're like moving like robots. You know, it's just,
It's like a
yeah,
lot of little stuff that honestly, like if you don't focus on the outside of your character,
yep.
like if you just hone on your character, I feel like those issues would kind of be very like they're very very minute, right? Like it's stuff. It's kind of like things maybe like, oh, I like 30 FPS games. Well, I notice when they're not running. I play on 60 FPS or 120. Like that sort of
Yep.
thing.
Mm.
Like for some people, they just will never notice it, even though it's happening every other second, kind of thing. But when you look at your actual character and stuff, like things are moving. It's not
Yeah,
HD. It's just
yeah.
480p. That's all. It's
My
480p. It's not 1080.
the biggest problem I think that most people have isn't the fact that, oh, the game only runs at 30 frames. I don't
Mm-hmm.
think that's a problem for most people. A lot of games run at 30 frames. Like I mentioned before, like FF7 remake for me on PS4 was 30 frames per second. And it is noticeable, like when you, especially jumping straight from like another game that's 60 or higher, right?
Right. Right.
But eventually, like I was able to like fully really enjoy FF7 remake, and you just kind of like you get used to it as you like the more hours you put
Oh
into it, right?
yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
The problem with Pokemon is that it's like inconsistent, I think is the main word here. So like
Okay.
you animate fine
Yeah. Yeah.
at a
You're
smooth like 30 frames per second,
exactly.
but when other characters and Pokemon and objects in the field like don't animate as smoothly, it's really noticeable, which is I
Yeah.
think the biggest gripe that people have.
And so, I mean, you've played this and Arceus earlier this year. Are they around? Are they similar? I mean, like, here's the thing. I don't want to harp on the this part because I think a lot of people have kind of harped on it. But the general consensus of people that I've talked to who have finished the game have all
Yep.
had a blast playing it, and I mean, have had an awesome
Like
time.
Pokemon, you mean?
Yeah. For
Scarlet, right?
Scarlet and
Scarlet,
Violet,
right?
yeah, they've
Yeah.
had a blast playing it, and
Yeah, the game
you
is
know,
fun. I mean, a lot of people have a laundry list of issues they have with the game, technical issues they have with the game, and I guess some gameplay. I mean, some people will not agree with all the gameplay decisions, right?
right.
But my final word is that the game is fun. It is a very fun Pokemon game, and I think it's a pretty good start to a new generation of Pokemon games. There's a lot of new things in this that I do hope they carry over to
Mm-hmm.
newer games. the first attempt of a true open world is a really good first attempt, I would say.
Right.
The idea of having your Pokemon roam, like having your Pokemon auto battle, is really cool. You can just chuck your lead Pokemon out there, and he'll just like run around and just kill everything in sight. Like, it makes it for really easy leveling, really casual leveling. You don't have to get into every single battle. And yeah, this is the idea that like, oh, you can do the gym. You can do the gyms in any order you want. There's a kind of a recommended order, but you can technically do whatever you want. They have the Titan Pokemon. You can just do those if you want to do those. You know what I mean?
Right, right. I mean, like, there's a lot more freedom of choice, and
I do like that TMs are craftable. Like it is kind of cool to be like, oh, I have to get Pokemon materials. I gotta craft this stuff. It sounds kind of dumb, but it is like I guess it is kind of fun, and it gives you reason to go and actually fight Pokemon in the field because you got to get that material.
and that's, I mean, like a lot of these like change is good in this sense.
Yeah.
Just because it seems like it was done, for the most part correctly, and I will say for performance stuff, I was actually very curious. I don't know if this is something that Nintendo will do or whoever does this, but um, for Switch 2, do you think that this game will eventually get a remake version? Like Switch
Oh,
3, what down the line? Because I'm like, how are they going to keep remaking these Pokemon games?
like if they do a third version, you
If
mean?
if they do a third version of this
They haven't
game.
done. That's the thing. That's a good question. I don't know because they haven't done one in a long time. I know for a while the trend was, for example, like Gold, Silver, Crystal, Ruby, Sapphire. Sorry, Ruby, Sapphire, Emerald, Diamond, Pearl, Platinum, right?
Right, right.
But they don't do those anymore. I mean, people have been expecting for a long time that they would continue to do those. But with Black and White, they did Black 2, White 2. For XY, they did nothing, actually.
Yeah, there's no Z or anything. It's just
Yeah, and then
XY.
for Sun Moon, they did Ultra Sun, Ultra
Ultra
Moon,
Sun
which are
Moon, yeah.
yeah. And then for Sword Shield, they just put out DLC,
DLC.
honestly. So they haven't done a third version in a long time. So if they do a new Switch console, I actually don't think Game Freak will be like, here's Pokemon.
The definitive edition, like Xenoblade Chronicles.
Like I don't know what color it would be, but here's like another Scarlet Violet thing. They might just do the same thing. They might just do like an Ultra kind of thing, like Ultra.
An alternate.
What's it called? Ultra Violet, Ultra Scarlet, or something like that, right?
Okay. I feel like this game is going to get if say like Ultra or whatever, it will have like the definitive edition version of it. I just feel like that's what's gonna happen. So like if you want to wait for it to get patched or whatever, I don't think they're gonna patch it to the extent to fix everything. I just feel like there's going to be an actual next version of this game.
A definitive version has never happened before. They've always been marketed as just alternate versions. So like Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon technically wasn't, I think, meant to replace Sun and Moon. Like the story changed actually, slightly. I mean, I guess you could argue that the last time they did a definitive, and I guess they have. You could argue that Emerald was the definitive version, and you could argue that Platinum was the definitive version of those gens, right?
Right, right.
And I guess I would agree with you, if you put it that way, because they did add a bunch of features, and they kind of unified the storylines because they're not split games anymore. But they just haven't done it in a while. Like Black 2, White 2 is Black 2, White 2. Like it's not definitive Black, it's the sequel to Black.
I think the only reason that I'm personally thinking of this is just due to a lot of the technical stuff with this, and I'm even like I don't even know what like Breath of the Wild 2 what that's gonna look like, because we're hitting this point where the Switch is honestly, we see it with Bayonetta 3, we saw it with this game, and like I think there's one, what was the other game before that? Oh, Xenoblade Chronicles 3 is like it's done. Like the hardware is
You think it's maxed out?
It's either it's maxed out or they're trying to find some crazy tricks to unmax it, because they're all having this be part of their reviews and like issues with the games, even though the games themselves are fun and deep and wonderful. I have to say, if they do put out a new Switch, or when they put out, it's not if they do, when they do, it would be nice if maybe, say if there's not a definitive version of this, that if anything, for whatever reason, it just goes through and corrects, like it runs at a better frame rate. It does some sort of thing to enhance this game, right? Something, I don't know. But if it's a fundamental program thing, then it's not going to do anything.
I think there's a discussion here about how important technical performance is to a video game, to the overall experience. Because like,
I mean, we had this, and we have something like Cyberpunk.
Sure, yeah,
right.
I mean, you can argue like Bayonetta 3, for example, like which also I think has probably issues with frame pacing and stuttering and low frame rates and that kind of thing, right?
Right. Originally, it's supposed to be an open world game, actually.
You can argue that, like, I don't know, like this, how important is technical performance to your overall enjoyment of a video game and how good that video game is? Because like, I think to some degree, like it shouldn't matter too much. I mean, like, don't get me wrong, like I like games to run really well and look really good, and that's part of the reason why I like playing on PC, because you have a lot more headroom, right, to get that kind of performance. That's why I like PC gaming for sure. But like, I think for me personally, like if something, like let's say textures look shitty. So I mean, let's talk about that famous door from FF7 Remake, right? That shitty door that looks really bad, right?
Yeah.
We can talk about that, but I at no point, and not just the door, but a lot of other textures in that game, at no point was I like, well, this game fucking sucks. That door ruined it for me. Like I never once thought that, right?
Yeah.
But I did think like, wow, that actually was a pretty shitty door. But I didn't like take me out of the game entirely. Like I can't get invested in this video game anymore, right?
No.
But I think, and I'd actually be willing to forgive like some frame pacing problems, but not like. But I think if it was to the point where they were excessive and like really, really, really like distracting, not just distracting, but like detrimental to my experience, then I would be like, I can't play this game because of these.
Right.
But when it comes to like textures, I could be like, oh, the game just looks shitty. You know, that's how
textures,
I felt with Arceus.
Textures, I don't mind as much. It's more like the little stuttering, the stuff that you usually will get to me a little bit. I think I mind it when hardware kind of interferes with maybe what the developers want to do. In this case, I don't think it did, because they accomplished their goal. They made an open world game. They added the systems they wanted to add. And in the case of like maybe Bayonetta, it was like they wanted to do an open world, but they couldn't due to the hardware limitation. So that game actually had to undergo a complete change.
Right. So you're saying like it's bad that Bayonetta had to become a different game, right?
If that's how the developers, if that their vision was they wanted it this way, but the hardware limitations forced them to make it another way. Yeah, I think that we were kind of not, I don't want to say denied, but that's now like the what if Bayonetta, right?
Sure.
What if,
but the question
but it's still a good game.
Well, okay, then that's important. The thing is the Bayonetta that you got, is it a good game? And if the answer is yes, then like that's good. Performance issues aside, then as long as it's still a good game, I'm not trying to like give say Game Freak a pass here for putting out a game with bad technical issues, but I think there's just always going to be a balance with like how much shitty performance can you get away with, and I think you can see it with Square Enix. Like the door is the bad door, and the game runs at 30 frames per second.
Which I never even cared about, which was something that we both talked about, right?
I still enjoyed FF7 a lot. It is noticeable when you jump to it, but after like a little bit, you're like, this game is running fine. As long as it's stable frame pacing, you're like, okay, I'm just playing this video game now, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, but is 30 frames noticeable? It is noticeable. Is it manageable? I guess the answer is it depends. But as long as it's locked at 30, then sure, it's probably quite manageable. I don't know if I talked about this on the podcast, so I might have not talked about it at all. But I've been playing Yakuza Kiwami 2 kind of recently, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so I'm playing Yakuza Kiwami 2 on my PC, so I'm playing it at like roughly 120-ish frames per second, or unlocked frame rate, right? Really high frame rate. There is a bug in that game and it's terrible. But if you are running the game higher than 30 frames per second, the boss AI like gets too good, and will break out of your combos constantly. So basically it makes boss fights impossible, like so damn hard because they'll never get stunned because they'll just like, yeah.
They're
And
just
this is like a weird,
accelerated, some weird accelerated point from the
yeah,
frame
it's like a
rate.
weird like AI logic problem where like if you're running the game harder than 30 frames, like the boss fights just get too damn hard because they just like don't get stun locked at all. And they'll just like, they're
Wow.
so hard, so damn hard. So I was in a couple of boss fights playing at an unlocked frame rate where I'm like, I can't do this, man. I can't. So I had to lower I had to lower my
That
frame limit to
that
30
happened.
to 30. And I got to tell you, man, going from like 120 to 30 not only is like noticeable, it's like it like gave me a headache. Like it is so
See,
hard to
that's the
like,
weird thing. I
yeah.
can't I know like 60 FPS versus 30, but I can't recognize it that much because, unless it's like a fighting game or like an action, some sort of action game, right?
Yep.
But I notice it now because I've been playing 100. I usually play on 120 now. It's just in
Yep.
the camera when I rotate the camera. That's
When
when
you
I
rotate the
notice
camera.
like, okay, this is not what I want to be doing. That's
Oh
when I
man,
notice
yeah.
stuff.
So going from like the from really high to really low, it actually makes me feel physically sick because it just hurt. It gives me an insane headache. It's not just the camera. It's also your animations. Like everything is like a quarter of what it's meant. It is a quarter, like 30 from 120. That's a quarter of the frames,
I'm
right? So
I'm glad you're surviving Pokemon. Just look at your
oh, well,
main character.
the thing about Pokemon is like
it
you turn on the Switch and you're already there, right?
You're
But just
already
jumping,
there. Yeah,
just jump. It
the
would be
jump.
like, oh man, it's so hard to play. But so what was my point? Oh, 30 is manageable if it's always 30 and always locked. But once you introduce any kind of
Like dips or yeah,
fluctuations,
yeah.
that's when it's bad.
That's when it's bad. So yeah, I mean, I'm sure we'll this will be in until the next Pokemon game. So there'll be
Well,
something said
yeah,
about it.
we'll see, we'll see. I mean, everyone's giving Game Freak a hard time. I also want Game Freak to succeed. And this is gonna sound weird, but I personally actually I had way more fun with Arceus than I am with
No,
Scarlet Violet.
I think
Yeah.
that's been what I've seen on the internet, on Twitter. That's what I've heard as well. A lot of people are like Arceus over this one, but
I
there's
gave
other
Arceus
reasons
shit.
too.
Arceus looks like shit. Well, let's not sugarcoat it. It looks bad, but at the very least,
It does run.
I never
It
had
runs good.
that
Yeah.
too bad performance issues with it. So yeah.
Oh man. Well, looking to get an upgrade now is Fortnite, which is now on Unreal 5.1. So there are a bunch of little flourishes in there from their Lumen engine, and just I like a lot of just it's supposed to be a better looking Fortnite now. But
Exciting.
that's
Great.
wonderful, right? We all come to the Fortnite for the graphics, which honestly it's for the art
Yeah.
style, everything. But I mean, they're introducing bikes this season, and then of course, we've got the new. What do you even call these collaborations? Is that just what we call them? They're not champions, they're not legends, they're not heroes. They're just new
Oh, well,
collabs. I don't know
they're
what
not
they're.
like skins technically. They're just like, are they just characters? Are they guest
Characters. They're
characters?
guest character. There we go, guest characters.
Yeah.
With Doomslayer, with Doomslayer looks really good. Like he just looks like it's just freaking Doomslayer. Just looks like Doomslayer just came
Yeah,
out.
that's pretty cool. Yeah.
And then of course we have Geralt from The Witcher in his Witcher 3 outfit, which I believe he might have his magics with him, with their teasing. And then finally, for whatever reason, this is wild. Why was there a freaking there's like a bike hopping across a bridge when people shooting, and then like what? This is so what the heck? Yeah, and I don't know, Deku just
My
from
Hero.
My Hero just coming in here like
That's so
blowing
fucking
up a
weird, right? That's
castle.
so bizarre. It's so
This
weird.
is
So weird.
so weird.
But
Like
yeah,
that.
like like I said, like you could tell me anything. You could be like, I don't know, Oprah Winfrey's in Fortnite, and be like, oh wow, really? What's
It,
her? Oh, that's crazy.
I mean, it really is just a vehicle for promotion at this point. I mean,
Is that a bad thing though? Is that a bad thing?
I think it's not a bad thing because none of
Is
these,
Fortnite soulless?
I don't think it's soulless because the world isn't soulless.
So
I
you
think,
think
I think them updating the map, updating the mechanics, introducing new things to do, is what keeps it kind of, a game. Because if that stuff was just dry, then it's just, I don't know.
Sure, let me put it this way. What if there was no guest characters in Fortnite? Like it was just boring ass Fortnite guy.
Well, then it's just boring Fortnite.
So okay, but is it still a good video game? Yes or no?
It's still, I think it's still a good video game because it's still fundamentally, it's still fundamentally what it is.
So you think Fortnite has good mechanics and is a video game, and the guest characters enhance the Fortnite experience, but they do not make the Fortnite experience?
Yes. Yeah.
You would agree with that?
I don't think they make the experience, but they do enhance it in the sense that, like, who wouldn't want to play as their favorite hero in
it's fair.
a game that's not even...
Sure. Of course.
That's what it brings to the table,
But
or artist or whatever.
Do you think most people agree with that statement? Do you think guest characters enhance, not make?
I think most people hopefully should agree with that because, I mean, we take fighting games, and that's a huge thing for fighting games. And one thing that's grown in the past 5 years, at least this generation of fighting games, is that there's been a lot more crossover and guest characters and collaborations. But we've seen the downfall of that, right? With Soul Calibur 4. Soul Calibur 4 had Yoda and...
Okay.
Yoda and Darth Vader. Which
one is 4 again? Yeah.
But yeah, it had Yoda, Darth
2B?
Vader.
Oh, no, that was 6, right? Yeah.
6 2B was done very well. Square Enix approved. Like they worked with Square.
That was a good 2B collab, unlike the other 2B collab.
The other one from Rainbow Six. Yeah. But I mean, like that's one of the things where I think, and who knows, maybe enhancing and making the game go together, right? I don't think for that person,
You know what? I am curious. I want to know if you go on Twitter and we make a poll where, if for example, something like if Fortnite didn't have all these guest characters, would you still be interested in Fortnite? Because I want to know, is there a selection of people out there who was like, yeah, Fortnite's not my kind of game, but I totally started checking it out once I saw that like Goku was in there. Or like I didn't give a shit about Fortnite until I saw like Rick and Morty was in there, and that was funny. You know what I mean?
I think that's that would be interesting because I think that's what, ultimately that's what they're there for, right? They're there to draw new people in. Because like the people who are playing it for the base level, like whatever, they're gonna play no matter what. This is just like icing on the cake if they just happen to get a character that they also like. But, when Goku came in the mix, that's just huge. That not only is it publicity, it's just like you said, it's a way to get new players in. I got in again. Like I told my friend, I play this game like once a quarter. Every quarter I play Fortnite.
Yeah, no. So when Goku got added, like I was talking to someone, on the internet, and he was like, and I was like, we made a deal, and I was like, I will play Fortnite with you if you buy me the Goku skin. I was kind of joking, and he did it.
So it's a fun game. I mean, like honestly, Fortnite is a weird, like coming from like Apex or Destiny or some things that are a little bit more competitive and a little bit more stressing. Like when you play no build in this game, it's super chill. It's so chill. Because there's other things you can do, like you're right, like in this season, of course, maybe you're riding a bike or you're flying a drone. You don't even have to be near anyone to kind of enjoy those experiences of just kind of messing around. And I think that's the main thing. Like if Sonic is just running around and having fun, well, this is very close because it's nonsense having fun. It's very like what the heck is going on here? And but it's just it's chill. It's so much more chill. And maybe that's an appeal point for all ages.
Yeah, I think Fortnite for me, I'm in the camp where I actually don't like Fortnite, or at least I think I don't like Fortnite.
Like zero build, or you don't like Fortnite
in general. Well, especially the build, especially normal Fortnite. I don't give a shit about like cutting trees down to build my dumbass tower. Like I don't want to do that. But like, I just wouldn't play Fortnite. Like no matter, like I wouldn't. But now that there's adding like crazy characters in here, then I'm like, oh, maybe I'll check it out. I guess maybe I'll play a round or two. So I'm definitely in the camp where like I wouldn't touch it if there weren't guest characters.
Yeah, and I wouldn't either. I mean, I did. I touched it before it had some guest characters that I knew about, but for the longest time, like it was no build mode that got me into it, or at least to try it.
I mean that's kind of sad and ironic, but for me too, it's funny that for me to want to check out Fortnite needed to strip away what made it Fortnite. You know what I mean? That was like the building aspect of it, right?
That's what Fortnite is, or what Fortnite became. There we go. What Fortnite became. I don't think many people remember what Fortnite was. The
Well,
OG,
that's true.
the
That's
OG
what it was
Fortnite.
supposed to be, a survival whatever game, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, no, but I mean that's what it was. It was literally the base build. It was just a base building
It was
survive
base building, yeah. It
wave
was
based
wave survival, yeah.
wave survival, and then because no one you had to pay for that mode. You had to
Do you
pay
know
for
why it's
that
called?
game.
Does anyone know why it's called Fortnite? It's because you had to survive for a fortnight,
Everyone's like,
and it was a pun on the word fort, as in you have to build a fort. That's fucking why it's called Fortnite. That's yeah.
we're we're living in some wild times now. Wild time. So I mean, it is nice to see that they're running their new Unreal Engine 5.1 on this with some nice little enhanced graphics right there. So if you're curious, let us know. Check that game out. And
All right, who's next though? Let's fucking. I mean, let's play this game.
I mean,
Who's the next guest character?
I don't know. I thought Doomslayer was already in the game. That's how bad. That's how bad it was.
That's how because I thought he was already in there.
I thought
I was like, what do you mean he's
Doomslayer.
not?
I
Yeah.
thought Geralt was already in there. Those games are like who like why weren't they there when it launched? I figured they were already there, so I have no clue.
I can understand Geralt because there's some Witcher hype that's happening recently. I mean,
That
there's
makes
gonna be
sense.
another.
Oh,
There's
you
gonna be
think we're gonna
another
get
season.
Cyberpunk punk like people in there?
Cyberpunk punk.
Cyberpunk punk.
Do I think no? Maybe because there is DLC for Cyberpunk that's coming out, but like I mean, Witcher makes sense because they announced the remake, right?
The remake and yeah.
They announced the remake. There's going to be another season of the TV series and that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Doomslayer to me makes a lot less sense because there hasn't been Doom anything for a while, and Deku is just fucking whatever. Sure.
I think Shueisha or Viz, whoever is doing this, we're gonna get Ichigo. We're gonna get freaking Gintama. We're gonna get.
My
We're
guess
gonna
was Ichigo. Yeah, my guess was Ichigo because of the new season of Bleach.
That
right?
is true. That is true.
Yeah.
Which I need to keep watching. I think I made it to episode 7. 6 or 7.
I need to start watching. Yeah.
They brought some good animation out, man. Some quality
Yeah.
animation for old man.
So I was, I was
fire.
thinking like the next guest characters would be Ichigo, Rukia, and what's that guy's name?
They don't matter. Sato, Chad, who?
No, the villain, the bad guy.
Which there's Aizen, Botch, who?
Aizen would be a good one actually though. Yeah, Aizen would be a sick guy.
I was like,
Aizen
which?
Fucking,
There's
well,
only
spoilers for
literally
anyone who's fucking getting into
only
Bleach.
two.
Aizen's not a bad guy. Don't ignore that. He's not a bad guy.
Yeah, I forgot that technically would be a spoiler if you're just now getting into Bleach.
If you're just getting to Bleach now,
if you're just now, dude, I went back and I looked at that opening, I went back and looked at the first episode. It's so time trippy, man. When you hear that, that opening song,
what the OG the first one?
Yes, the first one.
What's it called? What's the first one called? It's the one by Orange Range, right? What's
it's the one by Orange Range. I don't know
what's it called.
Asterisk. Yeah. But you remember how many people at anime conventions are like people who were just like, people wanted to be those characters so hard that they were just like, oh yeah, I'm gonna dress like.
Do you know what?
Dude, it was crazy.
Do you know what the most hype opening is ever? Period. Ever is D Techno Life, the second opening to Bleach. That song is so good. That song is so good. That's
actually what got me into
that
Uberworld.
Band? Yeah, that band, right?
Up until probably COVID, I have all the discography. Like even before that. Dude. Like I got hooked.
Yeah, okay, after this podcast, like I'm gonna watch the opening because the song is good, but also that opening sequence is so good.
That song was good. That song, D Techno Life is good.
D Techno Life.
I think they did two songs for them. They did Chance too. Chance it's later on.
Is Chance?
Yeah, it's an Uberworld song too.
No. Is it an anime opening or is it a game opening?
That's a good question.
I think Chance is an opening for one of the games. I think it was the one on PSP. I think that was the opening for the PSP game. Well, one of the PSP games.
Very well could be. That was a good song too.
I mean, this is a good song.
Oh yeah, that man, it was so good. Okay, yeah, that's what it was. It was for the PSP game.
Oh, that's what I thought. Yeah.
Good call on that. Good call. Man.
Anyways, that's a
Bro,
lot.
now they're gonna list to some Uber World and see if they got
That's what I want everyone listening to do is when you're done this episode, just go listen to D Techno Life.
It's a really, I think it's D dash Techno.
It's D
Life.
letter
D,
and then techno, but it's spelled wrong. It's TECNO.
That man really does try to do his actual English. It's one of those things where sometimes you don't know if they did it on purpose. Like the guy who Link Toshigure, the people who sing the opening for Unravel for
Oh yeah, for Tokyo Ghoul.
Tokyo Ghoul, yeah. All of his titles are all English, but they're all like just weird.
Like weird.
Like it's like, did you mean to spell it this way? Like, bro.
Yeah. Yeah. But no, so D Techno, it's letter D dash techno, TECNO life. One word for Techno Life.
Oh man.
I don't even know what that means. It's a good song though.
I don't know. It's a good song. It's a good song.
Yeah, you believe us.
Just go watch yourself some anime. There's some good stuff out this season. I don't know if you're watching any, if you're following up on anything.
No, I fell behind. I was watching just Spy Family, and that's it.
I went back and started doing Ranking of Kings. I think that's what it's called. Is it?
I don't even know what that is, dude. Yeah.
Ranking of Kings, I think. Yeah, it's the one where it's like the little it was really popular maybe like last season or last year sometime. But yeah, it's, if you haven't, Osama Rankingu? Yeah, that's what it is. Okay. Osama Rankingu. It's so good. So good. Anyways. That's our episode this week. We actually did talk about Sonic, Pokemon, and Fortnite. We did it.
Yep.
And
it was closed off with D Techno Life.
And D Techno Life. If you haven't, go listen to that song. Do you have anything you want to say in closing?
I don't know. I guess I stream tomorrow. I'm streaming Pokemon actually. And then that's it. Come hang out and watch Pokemon, I guess. Yeah.
Come hang out, watch some Pokemon. I'll be streaming on Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. I don't know what I'm playing outside of Sekiro. I started up that, and
yeah, I saw you were streaming that.
Was it? I was dying. Yeah, Saturday, I think.
Saturday, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know what. I don't know if I should just play some mini stuff. Dude, I'm on like 26 games this year.
It's pretty good, man.
I don't know what to do anymore. Just calm down. That's what I need to do. Calm down. But anyways, yeah, come and check us out. We're here. Until then, next week we'll be back for episode 152. I don't know what we'll be talking about, but
we'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out. So come on back and yeah, enjoy the podcast. Tell your friends. Leave a review. Follow us on Twitter. All that stuff is there in the show notes, descriptions. All right. We'll catch you all later, everyone, for another episode.
Sounds good.
Bye, everybody.
Peace.